Roll call.
Director Retterman,
Here.
Director Robertson.
Here. At this time, members of the public may address the committee on any non-agenda-sized items. The public is encouraged to work through staff to place items on the agenda for consideration. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person, and I would welcome any comments on what you see as, given that it's been a while since the committee has met, ways we can improve our external relations. Thank you. I'd like to move to approval of the minutes.
I move for approval. The October 22nd minutes.
I second. Oh. Yes. New business external relations committee scope.
Okay, this committee was there's a memo in the packet talking about why this committee was created. It was created back in January of 2020. I had just become president of the board for that term, and I had looked around. Other water districts in the area had a committee called external relations. I purposely didn't call it external affairs because the CCWD employs a person with that title, and I didn't want it to seem that it was that time it might have been. I don't know, not quite sure who was the external. It was Jessica. She says was our external affairs manager, and this wasn't to reflect that position. Kelly is obviously our external affairs manager. This is a outward looking committee. All of our other committees are looking inward. Engineering, finance, and legal affairs are all looking inward to the district and its employees and what it does in those 3 areas. Are all 3 very important. I thought this would be just as important, but looking outward and not just looking at customers and our relationship with customers, but our relationship with anybody that's not within the district. In my summary, very, very short summary of what it was created for, the purposes to focus of this committee will be outreach, such as town halls. We do have town halls from time to time, and there's something important going on. What this committee was created for is to review those things and talk about what do we want to get across in those town halls. The same thing with when we do something good, we want to pat ourselves on the back and do a publications and send or what do we want our social media to look like, and do we have a social media policy? These are the sorts of things. It's also customer relationships with other groups, such as Aqua, Mountain Counties, as well as today we're going to be focusing on our relationship and how they can be involved with is CSDA. We have like the entire new CSDA, the CR chapter board here in the room with us or online. I see Dane up there. But that's the focus. Other focus should be other utilities. We have great relationships with a lot of utilities in the district, mainly on Highway 4, TUD, AWA. We don't have relationships with other utilities, and I'd like to. We have agreements to help them out, them help us out in times of need, and we use those to our advantage and to assist other utilities in the area. like to expand that program. I don't think we have official one with Valley Springs PUD. I know we're working on a project with them, have a great relationship with them these days. CPUD right here in town, San Andreas Sanitary, maybe a focus of those three might be a focus of some point in the near future. There are other utilities that we don't have relationships with, or that we don't have. Michael, what is that?
Yeah, we have, I would say we have relationships with them. We may not have the mutual aid agreement.
Mutual aid.
We do have mutual aid agreements with various agencies. Water, wastewater.
And that's something to look at. Thank you. A mutual aid agreement. Anyway, I just wanted to start the meeting off with that. I kick it back to Jeff to conduct the meeting, but I just wanted to say a brief. And we didn't have any meetings of this committee all last year. We've been a full year without having any. We started here. I'm not quite sure when our next one is going to be. Possibly every other month or something. We can decide when we get to that. All year.
Thank you, Director Rediman. And I just would like to add to that. It's having been on the board for less than a year. It's going up quickly. What we're hearing from the community on such things is great. Clearly have some work to do. And I think there's the talent we have in Kelly. I've mentioned before, I think we should put together one of the things, a video explaining why our rates are the way they are and how they compare to the other districts, which is like favorable. With that said, I really appreciate comments. Broadens my own vision of the scope of what this committee do. So now I'd like to call on Jessica Self. Board. Here for the CSDA Calaveras chapter presentation.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having us here. We have a little presentation. Ready to go? Okay. So I'm Jessica Self, General Manager of Union Public Utility District, in the room with Calaveras Consolidated Fire Department Fire District, and Dana, who is with San Andreas Fire District. Online, we also have Dane Wadley, who is our CSDA Sierra Network representative. I think I have his title correct, or at least kind of close. So I'm just going to go over a little presentation, but I want to provide time for all of us to talk about the exciting new chapter that's been formed. Okay, so CSDA, we have Aqua, we have Mountain County, we have these other organizations that water and wastewater are members of, but CSDA is unique because it's focused on special districts. So the mission statement, I think they have a really good mission statement that captures what they do. So CSDA is the voice for all special districts, providing members with the resources necessary to best serve their community. So it's not just water and wastewater, and we'll kind of go over what those districts are. So CSDA was formed in 1969. The purpose was for cost-effective programs and representation of the state capital. So being an advocate on behalf of all special districts, regardless of what they are across the state. There's over 1,300 organizations that are members currently with CSDA, so it's a vast amount of memberships. And this doesn't capture all of them, but special districts can be irrigation, water, parks and rec, cemetery, fire, police protection, library, utilities, harbor, healthcare, and community services districts. There's more to it than that as well, but again, it's a huge variety of different special districts that are represented under CSDA. All right, and within the state, CSDA is grouped into different networks. So there's the Northern, Sierra, Bay Area, Central, Coastal, and Southern. And so we are part of the Sierra Network. And then within the Sierra Network, there's, I believe it's called the Gold Country group. I don't know what term is, Dane, what is it called? The Gold Country chapter? Okay.
It is the chapter. Yes, correct.
So, and that chapter is a big swath, north to south, and they do meet, the chapter does meet, but they meet far north, like over 2 hours from here. And for me personally speaking, on behalf of UPD, it's too much of a commitment for me to drive up, just for a quick meeting and then drive back. So I have not attended since being part of UPD. And so Dane, was meeting me one day, and I just kind of talked about how CSDA is such a great organization, but with UPD in particular, we just don't have the bandwidth to really be part of it. Like mountain counties and Aqua, it's a little bit easier for us to kind of be involved. And he recommended a county chapter. So Tuolumne County has had a chapter already. They've had one in place, and it's been a very successful chapter. So it's localized to all the special districts. Tuolumne County, Dane, recommended or pitched that idea of us forming a Calaveras chapter. So Dane coordinated a meeting with a few of the more active CSDA special districts in the county, and thankfully, all three of us and were very active in wanting to push this forward. And so I really want to thank you and the rest of the board for approving the resolution to move forward with supporting the formation of the chapter, because that was a huge step and that was required to do before we could. So we started the process. And so here's a list of all of the special districts that are a member of CSDA in the county. So you'll see multiple cemetery districts, road maintenance, fire districts, one healthcare district, Veterans Memorial District, Parks Rec, the Calaveras County Conservation District, 2 sanitary districts, and 4 water agencies. So it's I think it's a nice, just a nice breadth of all different types of organizations, where if you think about all of us meeting and on a regular basis, talking about issues that we maybe wouldn't ever think about talking about, or thinking about funding opportunities, or just really the grassroots advocacy for what is best for the county at the state level, that's where we can really hone in on any kind of messaging or support, or just to work together when we otherwise normally wouldn't. This is the opportunity, and so this was what motivated pushing forward with the chapter. So the way that I see it is there's multiple benefits, and also I want to hear what you guys think too. But the grassroots advocacy, I think, is huge, and so I'm a huge advocate of grassroots advocacy. I think that's the best way to get anything moving forward. So having that unified voice at the county level to influence what's happening at the state level is really, really collaboration and resource sharing. So if we're meeting on what's now currently a quarterly basis, again, we can have conversations that we would never think about. Water agencies talking with fire agencies, talking with the healthcare district, all of those. It's already sparked so many interesting conversations, and we can grow on that and provide different resources for each other. And then the last one is increasing the funding opportunities. So thinking about ways that we could partner to apply for grants or push for funding at the state or federal level is huge. So the kickoff meeting happened in January. So it was the very first Calaveras County chapter meeting. We had Dane here with us, and the 4 of us, as well as Utica Water and Power Authority was there. Mark Twain Health District was there, and I want to say Mike Johnson from Evans Pass Fire District was also there. Our guest speaker was Kimberly Pruitt with Congressman McClintock's office. So we were able to hear from her about what they're currently focusing on. And we have our next meeting scheduled next month, April 15th. And so I really encourage you guys to attend. It's open to anybody who wants to. So if you want to be part of that conversation or just hear what's going on, I really encourage you to do so. I'll be trying to push a couple of board directors to come to the meeting as well, so they can learn more about it. And one thing that we have talked about from our first meeting is having, it'll be on the agenda for next month, is creating a subcommittee focused on water and fire agencies working together to talk about the infrastructure needed to fight fires. So that's where water and fire really do join forces. And I think that if we're working together, we can find some really unique solutions for that. So I'm going to stop talking, but I would like you guys to come up and
Jessica, if you don't mind, could you give some examples of some possible collaboration you could see? I mean, I can see some of the resource sharing certainly makes sense between WD and I'm really interested. Maybe if I should wait for our other two gentlemen in the room where we're talking different districts, different issues.
yeah, so I think one of the big ones, and who knows what's going to happen with that, but one big one that's already started is the conversation of water agencies and our infrastructure that is critical for fire protection and the fire districts that use our infrastructure for fire protection, and really talking about the challenges that we face with having to have proper fire flows with state regulations for water quality, but also, making sure that they have what they need. And so, is there a way that we can band together to advocate, whether it's challenges or potential solutions for some regulatory hurdles that specifically, I'll speak on behalf of water agencies, that water agencies are facing, having to meet fire flows, upsizing our infrastructure to meet those fire flows. But then as a consequence, we have water quality issues, water gets stagnant. And so that's our challenge, but working with fire, I think we can talk more and have a better solution in the long run.
Kyle Harvey with Calvers Consolidated Fire Protection District. I've been a director there for the last 2 years. And I'm just very excited to have the CSDA chapter come to being. We all in our little county face a lot of the same issues in our special districts, limited resources, mandates that we all must follow and follow through with, and just being able to understand the landscape of the people and the properties that we're serving, and issues that water and fire have together are very important that we talk about and we work with. We make sure we put programs in place along the lines of making sure that when we go to a fire plug that it's operating, that it's been maintained, and that it has a chance to do its job, rather than us showing up and turning the water on and there's just not enough pressure. And I can tell you with Calaveras Consolidated, we've already started working with CCWD to map out our fire plugs and go through on a regular schedule to make sure that they're working. And we're working collaboratively with CCWD to do that right now. But that's just one of the things that we don't know if other fire districts know that they can do this.
No,
So now we're at the table and we're talking about these kind of things. And so those kind of programs can go out further. And we can all understand after the fires that we've been through over the past 20 years that this is a much needed program. But also just everyday issues that come up. It's a person to call that maybe has a different perspective. Maybe they have found a different solution to a problem that you're facing. So that's the kind of collaboration that Calaveras Consolidated is. And I think Jessica and Dana and all of the folks that help us, Kelly, get this started. And I too am going to encourage some of my board members to come down and participate and understand not only the value of this, but how we can tell our constituents that we're working for them. not just in Calaveras Consolidated, but throughout all of the service areas that we have. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I added it to my calendar, so I'll be here on the 5th, assuming my taxes are done. But
Yeah, there's that.
Mr. Nichols.
Dana Nichols with San Andreas Fire Protection District. Really, these kinds of conversations are impossible to predict what it'll produce, but I'm confident it'll produce something that'll benefit the communities that we serve. And the reason I say that is when we started talking among the fire agencies more than a decade ago about our funding issues, we didn't realize that it could eventually lead to a citizen committee helping us to get a measure on the ballot and pass a funding measure that's basically allowed many agencies now to have full-time firefighters on duty that are paid when we previously did not. And I think I love hearing what you're talking about, mutual aid among the water districts, because that experience will bond you together. When you help each other out in times of need, it'll help change the conversation. And one of the I just have no idea where this might go, but I could imagine, for example, making a map that shows all of the property owned by all of the special districts in the county, and then also having every special district list what its facility needs are in the future, because you might find areas of overlap where we could co-locate and save our taxpayers money and maybe provide a better service. I mean, how do I know where the health district might need to have a cupboard to store materials so that they can respond in a health emergency? How do I know what the water districts might need to have on a fire facility without asking? And so I'm just very excited to have all these conversations. I have no idea where it's going to lead, but there's kind of I think this is going to fill a leadership vacuum, and it's nobody's fault that we have a leadership vacuum, because we have kind of government light in that we have all these special districts providing things that in the large urban areas are provided by city governments or county governments. And so we don't have as much of an institutional basis to try to create whatever the vision is to really what best serve our communities. And by having this conversation among all the special districts, we're going to have some of that synergy to actually hear from all over the county. And I would love to get some of my friends, Earl Heinlein, I'm thinking of you up in the Ebbets Pass area, get some of my friends who are in veterans districts also involved, because I think that that would really add to the conversation, because the veterans districts are already providing some of our most important facilities like park facilities and monuments. And really, if we are all involved, we're going to stumble on things that we can't even imagine now. So I'm going to shut up.
Thank you, Dana. Oh, great. Sure. Please.
Mind if I go just a few comments just to add on to that, directors?
I didn't understand that.
Oh, do you mind if I add on a few comments, directors?
We would love to hear it, please.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Floor is
Sorry. Thank you. Well, again, Dane Wadley. I'm the director of field operations for CSDA and the direct liaison to the special districts and obviously Calaveras County and our Sierra network. And just a few notes that I was making. Jessica and Kyle and Dana did a great job capturing the purpose of the chapter and some of the early discussions. But I would just kind of reiterate a couple of points. First was the importance or the desire and to have something a little bit more local for Calaveras County. Right, as Jessica mentioned, you guys were part of our Gold Country chapter, which is our biggest chapter, and it kind of became a little bit too big, frankly. Excuse me. And hence the recognition and the need for a more localized chapter in your county. And that was obviously something that was important to me. You guys have heard me talk. I've got extensive background in the county myself. And so it was a great idea, I thought, when Jessica and I talked about it. So that's the first value. The second on the grassroots advocacy, because I helped the chapter officers arrange Congressman McClintock's office to attend that first meeting, and it made a big difference when we were able to say, look, we have a meeting scheduled. We're going to have 7 or 8 local special districts in one room, kind of at effective and efficient communication on both sides. And the congressman's office was like, yeah, well, we'd love to send someone out there and hear the discussion and have that dialogue. So that just having the chapter and having that infrastructure in place really helped facilitate our connection with their office. A couple things that kind of came to point to what during that discussion was I know that the representative from Utica had mentioned that they're working, I think, on an exemption for their FERC license project. And then Kelly had mentioned that you guys were working on a FERC relicensing project as well. So it's like already some of those similar issues from the districts were kind of coming out in that discussion. Obviously, in that case, for the benefit of the congressman's office and any assistance that may be provided in that world was of value to everybody. I'd also just highlight too that I remember the Derry over at the healthcare district was talking about kind of veterans healthcare issues in the county. As you know, there's significant veterans population in the county, a lot of veterans memorial districts, and so that kind of led to another discussion too about veterans healthcare. Maybe some ways that we can try to work on those issues kind of going forward, in addition to, of course, the water and the firefighting infrastructure that was brought up. So I think all that's to say, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm getting over a cold over the weekend, so I'm still a little hoarse. But even in the first meeting, there were already some of these things starting to come out in the discussion. And so I think it really laid the groundwork for future discussions. We're also like one of the next speakers we're going to have for the chapter meeting is one of the Calaveras County LAFCO commissioners to give a LAFCO update, which of course affects all the special districts in the county as well. And so again, having that infrastructure in place with a bunch of districts who are going to be present at that meeting helped us to, recruit a speaker to give an update on the districts at that. So I think those are just some of the examples. We're extremely excited about it. I'm extremely excited about it to be able to, bring CSDA closer to the districts in the county and help you guys with like an enhanced level of service and even more direct contact than what we would normally provide through this chapter. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you so much for your guys' interest and everything, all the leadership that you guys have shown to us as a district, but then also through the formation of the chapter. Kelly was great. And you guys, of course, have been very gracious to open up your boardroom there for our meetings, and we certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. Have anyone else online, Rebecca?
Yeah, thank you, all four of you. I was very excited and very interested in attending. I was out of town on the 21st. I had meetings in Roseville with the GPIA during your first meeting. I see I have another meeting that starts at 1:00. It's a Zoom meeting on the 15th, but I will be in this room when that meeting is over. It probably won't be over by 1:30. Very excited to see this chapter come here. I like Jessica have a hard time getting to Auburn for those monthly luncheons, and it seems way too far, and I just haven't worked out where I'm already there for other stuff. But this is and I did not know that Tuolumne had already proceeded at Calaveras. And thank you, Dane, for your leadership and efforts, and Jessica, Kyle, and Dana, thanks for your leadership and steering us this thing in the right path right off the bat. Really looking forward to seeing great things come. Awesome. Thank you.
Ditto what he said. I couldn't agree more. That's great. And well, thank you. Thank you for coming in today and the presentation. It's, opened my eyes, and to a certain extent, I feel like inspiring energy to work on this together. When I think about this county and how great it is and how many of us are doing different things, synergy of us working together can accomplish so much more. So thank you. Okay. Kelly, we hear your presentation on the Department of Justice.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to turn it over to Justin Erickson, who's online.
Okay.
He's going to give a
very detailed presentation, kind of give you an overview of what we're talking about.
Oh, hello. Can you guys hear me on your end?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Well, appreciate you all having me in here today. Quick introduction for myself. My name's Justin. I'm an account manager over here at Streamline. We currently host Calaveras County Water District website here. The main thing that we're really helping out with is the whole ADA accessibility portion that's tailing in with the Department of Justice rulings and just ensuring that we're keeping you up to date on all of those federal as well as state requirements for website accessibility. So what I've been in contact with Kelly about and some things that we've been helping out with the current accessibility landscape is a new requirement that came into place here recently that's pertaining to PDF accessibility. So I'm going to share my screen in a second here and just kind of give you a visual representation of what I'm referring to here. And let me know when this is popping up for you. Give me 1 second. All right. Can you see that on your end here?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, perfect. So with PDF accessibility, there was a piece of legislation that was released recently in here. I'll jump back down to this slide in a second here, but it's basically called the DOJ 28 CFR Part 3.5 here. And really what this is requiring is for basically any PDF that gets posted online onto your website, as long as it's a public facing document, needs to meet all of these WCAG 2.1 AA accessibility standards. So basically what that means is that if anyone is using an assistive technology, like maybe a screen reader, if they have a visual impairment or something of that nature, if they're trying to access your website online and trying to access one of your PDFs, their screen reader technology would have to seamlessly be able to navigate through that document. So really what we're starting to see on a lot of our districts' ends is that they don't really have PDFs that are actually accommodating to this WCAG 2.1 accessibility standard. The reason being for that is honestly, there is a lot of guidelines that go into it when it comes to tagging your PDFs or putting headings in your PDFs, a lot of back-end coding that would need to be required to ensure a screen reader could actually go through that information. Or you could also outsource it to like a professional, what they call a professional remediator, which they're typically charging around $7 to $15 per page. That's another solution that we've seen out there for this. What we have on our hands, though, is a new solution called Doc Access here, which is taking all of your PDFs and basically converting them into an HTML text that's accommodating for all of those WCAG 2.1 AA accessibility standards in a fully automated format. So with where Calaveras is currently at with their PDF accessibility scores right now, currently there's around just over 1,700 documents that will need assistance. And within those documents, there's just under 11,000 total errors. So what we've seen a couple of our districts attempt to do with information like this is they'll basically go in on the back end of their documents and try to fix some of these error messages one by one by coding on the back end of a PDF or manually adding tags or like manually adding an alternate text to an image, something of that nature. And as you can imagine, with just under 11,000 errors, this becomes a pretty cumbersome process pretty quickly. And that's just for everything that's currently on the website. That's not necessarily including anything that's posted in the future as well. So what we did on our end to kind of help accommodate for this fully, as I was referring to with the Doc Access tool here, is we created basically a full HTML that is going over that text and it's meeting all of those standards. Within that, it's also giving you translation capabilities within your documents, as well as a questionnaire tool. It's the community preferred choice, and then it's also mobile friendly as well. So I'm going to give you a quick visual demonstration of kind of what Doc Access is going to do for your documents in particular here. And is this still showing up on your end here? Could you see this page that I have pulled up right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. It should be like a little pipeline with the blue and purple colors here. This is actually from a document that's currently on Calaveras County's website right here. It is an agenda package from May.
Actually, wait.
I don't think we are seeing that.
We're not. We were speaking, I was seeing the little green arrow move around, but we don't have the purple piece.
There we go. I appreciate you letting me know. Let me find it really quickly here. I'm typically used to Zoom here, so let me see if I can locate this really fast. There we go. Are you seeing what I'm seeing now? Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. Purple and blue pipes, we have them.
We're good. Perfect. And I heard someone say quick question. Anything I can
Yeah,
answer really quickly?
What is the, obviously, we're not in total compliance. What is the penalty? Or is there one for not having a website with that many documents that are not in compliance?
Yeah, great question. So basically, yeah, so within that, you're basically at risk of public facing lawsuits here. And let me go back to my other screen really quickly, just to kind of show you what we're seeing on that end. So from that standpoint, this is something that's federally enforced, and it's going to be coming into play officially for our districts in April through the DOJ 28 CFR Part 35. What we've seen within the last 2 years here from the accessibility landscape in particular is over a 50% increase in digital public accessibility lawsuits. And those are typically averaging around 39K a pop for each one of those. And with PDF being kind of the new landscape for that, and with honestly the amount of difficulty that it takes to actually make PDFs accessible, it is something that's fairly easy to identify within a website as well here. So that's something from the federal side of things that we've been seeing. And then from the state side of things, there's actually 2 pieces of legislation here in California that actually make PDF accessibility a state requirement as well. One of those is going to be California AB 434 right here. This is actually a little more pertinent to just cities and counties. Doesn't really affect it too much at the special district level. For the Unruh Civil Rights Act right here, this is basically a public-facing equal accessibility piece of legislation for any of your online content, as well as any of like your building maintenance, anything like that. It's really just an equal access act for anything pertaining to a government entity. And kind of the language we've seen attorneys pose this as with a couple of our districts that this has occurred to already, is they're basically saying that if everything public facing isn't fully accessible to any member of the community, they're considering it a means of discrimination against the visually impaired community. So
it's civil lawsuits is what we're talking about then.
For the state side in particular, for the federal side, it would be more so public lawsuits.
All right, and did I hear you correctly that these have to be addressed one at a time, or does the doc access software automatically take all of our documents when requested, convert it to HTML?
Yeah, that's a great question. So really there's 3 different solutions to this. And here, let me jump back to the other screen really quickly here. The 3 options we've been seeing people do is they could either try to fix them all in-house, which is a very time-consuming process. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's the next thing to it. There's a lot of work that does go into it. Some people will try to send it off to like a contracted service, which is professional remediation. That's typically anywhere from $7 to $15 a page. And then with our doc access solution here, basically what it is a fully automated solution. And you'll see this document right here. And just to make sure it's pulling up for your team, right? The pipes here. You can see that on your end.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So rather than this opening up in like a traditional PDF view that's going to look with like your typical PDF format, all of your documents on your Calaveras County Water District website will open up in this view right here that's going to list off print-friendly view or accessible transcript view in the top left up here. And you'll have a toolbar on the right side over here that I'll dive into in a second. But let's say a member of the community is using that assistive technology, like a screen reader, to access this document, rather than your team having to go in and manually provide like an alternate text or making sure this is headed and tagged properly. Their assistive technology will read off to them print-friendly view or accessible transcript view. They would just hit tab, and then instantly it's going to convert this document into a whole HTML text right here. And you'll see that even for that image that was within the document, it's listing out an alternate text for them that's all meeting those WCAG 2.1 accessibility standards and ensuring that basically any document that you have on your site currently, as well as anything that you're posting in the future, is automatically getting that accessible view added on demand for any of your community members there. So that's how the tool functions. And there's not like a ramp up process or anything like that. It would basically be a seamless transition into ensuring that all of those just under 11,000 errors within the documents are all automatically taken care of for you. Any questions on how that process operates for you?
Not at this time. I guess I might turn to someone like Kelly. Kelly, you're someone on top of this. Pose any questions for you? And
Yeah, we've been familiar with this for quite a bit. As you see, like with the pictures, I mean, this is for all of everything that's on our website, which there's quite a bit, and some of those 11,000 is also historical from, a long time ago before modern PDFs were formatted the way they are. So I've been working with Dylan and Rebecca on this, and we do feel that this tool is probably the most seamless and simplest way. Like, yeah, as you saw, just basically with the click of that button, it'll then convert it into clients.
like what you see.
We do. I do, several agencies are using the same tool. And so, yeah.
Real question. Cost of the software. Kidding. You don't have to answer that.
No, what is the cost to us on something?
I
Yeah.
imagine he's going to go.
Additional regulations on top of regulations?
Right. Yes.
Absolutely.
I believe Justin,
Yeah.
he's going to cover the cost here too.
Yep, I'll show you the cost really quickly. Let me just show you really quickly as well before I dive into that cost. Then this as well, this is a big note for a lot of our California communities as well here in particular. You'll see where any of your pages like this, if you flip it over to your HTML view, you also have the ability to translate this in up to 150 different languages as well here. So this is also meeting some requirements that are coming down the pipeline eventually for California through the Brown Act. This is already something that's coming into play here for our cities and counties of this year. For special districts, the timeline is loosely floated as 2028, where basically they're going to, based on population density of certain community members speaking a secondary language as a primary, they're going to eventually require that there's multiple language translation capabilities in the online content as well. So this tool is already going to give you the ability to translate any of your documentation that you have online as well here at the click of a button. So it's another thing that I quickly wanted to mention, but diving into the price for you really quickly, let me actually show you. Let me dive back to the slide really quickly here. There we go. And our last slide at the bottom, this kind of goes over all of these solutions that are currently available. As we listed with the do-it-yourself method, where if you were to try to fix them all in-house, the current estimated staff time based on the volume that's currently on your website, and this is implying that there would be a full-time staff tasked with trying to make PDFs accessible, would be 92 weeks for just what's currently on the website, not anything that's being posted in the future as well. The professional remediation costs based on your document current page count inventory would be just under $400,000 for professional remediation. With Doc Access, we're actually providing this at a subscription basis that's operating on a cents per page basis. So at 5 cents per page based on your team's current inventory, it's going to be at $11,520 annually for the Doc Access tool here. And that's coverage for everything currently on the site, as well as any documents posted in the future as well here.
Nice. You say annually, is this something that same price would be even next year when we probably aren't adding as much? Once you go through the entire website this year, then you're only looking at things that have been added since that time. But the same annual price stays, even though the work probably a little less.
Yeah, so since it's an on-demand service for everything that's on the site as a whole, it's going to be basically anything that's currently on the site. With that being said, though, there's going to be an inventory increase that's added month over month with that. So any new pages that are added to your site will automatically be covered within that annual subscription at all, or as well. There's not going to be an additional fee associated with any new add-ons or anything like that.
Is there a contractual obligation for that period of time?
It kind of broke up a little bit. Could you repeat the question? My apologies.
Is there a annual renewal requirement over a set of years, or is it just an annual? You decide annually if you're want to continue?
It's on an annual basis. If you wanted to do a multi-year contract, that's something that we do have available as an offer as well. But if you did want to cancel, it would basically just be on an annual contract basis.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you,
Of course.
Justin.
Yeah, and I know that's a lot of information condensed down quickly. Is there any questions I could answer based on any of that for you?
I'm just shocked that something like this is a requirement that there's ADA on websites.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's moving quickly right now for cities and counties in particular. Their deadline is already here and they are scrambling their mad dashing to get their PDFs accessible. And this tool has really been revolutionizing the market just because there really isn't anything out there that's automating the whole process for you. And especially at the charge it's at, it's something that for those who have been involved with the process, it's been a lifesaver. But for a lot of our districts in particular, this is a new conversation just because it's, like you were saying, kind of a relatively unknown topic that is rapidly approaching here. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting one.
Kelly, you're obviously all over it. How did you aware of it?
Through CSDA, actually, at several of the conferences. And again, Streamline has been reaching out. This is something we kind of knew was coming. And for us, it's required by April of 2027. When we did switch to the new website, and we did have to do that alt text, that was something that lured us to the new website, whereas before the old website, if you happen to upload a picture and you didn't fill that out manually, sometimes you just forget. We got pretty good at it, but I had to go back through and do a lot of them manually. Whereas the new Streamline kind of does similar to what you saw with that picture, where AI will kind of capture what's the picture, and then add that alt text for you. If some of these features were already built into the website we have now, but just not to this extent. Like even every time we upload an image on our website, it has to have that alt text. Something we kind of knew was coming. This is just a little bit more in depth, or quite a bit more in depth.
Sounds like that alone would save $11,000 in internal labor, just converting photographs after that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of staff time.
And it's all of our engineering documents too. It's not just CCWD's own documents. It's everything we post. Anything that's on the website has to have this.
I think next step is for your doing come back to us or the financial committee with a recommendation. And sounds like great software to me. We have any public comments on this?
Since I'm here, I can't say enough about this. Good things about this. We were made aware of CSDA as well. We have Streamline for our website, and I think the price. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Justin, but I think the price is the quote is given based on how many PDFs you have already on your website. So UPD doesn't have as much as CCWD, so ours was right around the $3,000 ballpark. But to me, when it was brought to my attention, I didn't even think twice. Get it, sign it, and we are completely in compliance now. It's quick. We don't have to worry about a thing. So for me, it's peace of mind and not having to really just drown staff with having to fix it, and nobody wants to deal with it. So
Thank you. Good call. Got the mic. Go ahead, Kelly.
No, I'm good. Let's get ready for the next item.
That's where we are. So please. But again, thank you. I don't know if you're still online, Justin, but thank you. Very good presentation.
I appreciate it. Yep. And thanks for letting me hop in here for a little bit here. Have a great rest of your day, y'all.
Thank you, Justin.
Russ has been around longer than our Calaveras County Water District. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just had a birthday this.
Yeah, we have a birthday party coming up too. I think it's fitting for this to land in this committee, start talking about it and planning for it. So we will be turning 80 years old on September 6, 2026. Right. I love these old clips of some of the newspapers from that time. So here's a clip of the Calaveras Californian, dated Thursday, August 22nd, 1946. Just 5 days later, on August 27th, 1946, two very important measures were presented to the voters of Calaveras County. Formation of a countywide water district and the formation of a countywide hospital district. I'd like to read just a real short clip from this article because obviously it's kind of small there, hard to read, but shortly the state will present to the Calaveras County a master plan of blueprints showing proposed dams, ditches, and canals, which if constructed would serve water for domestic, irrigation, and industrial uses in practically every portion of the county. If we have a legal organization voted by the people with a board of directors elected with the responsibility of trying to find ways and means of putting the state's master plan into operation, we have some hope for the future of the county. Without a legal organization, the state will have spent about $25,000 for plans that will probably gather dust in state files for generations to come. In the meantime, the valleys and the cities of the state will have filed upon and begun to put beneficial use to every bit of water originating in this county. It will then be too late to recapture a heritage that belongs to the people of this county and to those that come after us. So both the water and the hospital districts were given big majorities on that vote. Returns from the countywide election indicated an overwhelming vote in favor of the formation of the Calaveras County Water District and the Mark Twain Hospital Districts. Both are countywide territory. Here's a tally of the votes as of Thursday, August 29th, 1946, just 2 days after the vote. These tallies here don't reflect some of the absentee ballots that were submitted in the next few days after the process, but you can kind of see there on the left, they broke it down into each little community and the yeses and the nos. It's pretty remarkable to look at it. I love it. And when I put these clips on here, there'll be PDFs on our website and soon to be completely accessible once we get the software. So you'll be able to see them though in the packet.
Water hospitals.
Yeah. Another one that I liked, I skipped right over it. But I love right there on the right to see the town team win cement. It's the White Pines softball team playing I think the San Andreas, cement team. So I just liked it. It was just the White Pines team, So when you read these, I'm looking at the clips of the water stuff, but as I look through it, there's so much other fun stuff in there too. So
I love the comment that $25,000 will fill plans that sit around like dust.
Yes. And so, and then on September 6th, 1946, so you can see the timeline. They didn't waste any time, just, not too many days, a week or two after the Calaveras County Water District was formed. So it's time to throw a party. So let's, I think, over the next few meetings, maybe we should have this on maybe a topic that we discuss meeting. And
September 6th is the official date. That's not the date of the party.
No, we don't have a date of the party yet. But, and that year was pretty special. There was a lot going on in that year. PG&E had just purchased the Utica system. Other districts were formed. And so I think it can be a powerful, really fun event. Showcase not just Calaveras County Water District, but maybe Water County as well. Because the story of that time goes a little bit beyond just us.
Have anything kind of gurgling around that great creative brain of yours to
Absolutely.
make it special?
Absolutely. Yes. Lots of stuff gurgling up there.
Well,
Yeah.
No, I think it sounds like a wonderful idea. And having recently been at a T-stand meeting where Ptolemy was, it kind of basically implied that we have a lot more access to water than they do as a result of work that people did in this county years ago. Absolutely celebrate.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. We should be extremely grateful for the foresight that folks had 80 years ago, back when Russ was already an adult, I think, actually. In fact, he probably voted in this election. And he's not even here, and he's getting taken all these shots.
I'll have to
But
tell them to watch the. recording.
yeah, but Jessica, this is the same year as UPD was formed. Can you just make sure to maybe plan yours after ours so it doesn't overshadow? We want to.
Actually, probably not, because we were formed before you guys. So July 26th, 1946 is our official birthday. We were the Calaveras Water Users Association that was formed in 1920, but in 1946 is when the voters voted to become a special district. So we were already a water agency at that time, or an association, where the local water users paid into. They took care of the water system themselves, and there was a governing board. But 1946 is when we became special districts. So that was July 27th, 1946, and then September. So there is a lot of history that happened at that time, and I think I've tried to dive into our archives, and we have so much. We have the original meeting minutes, handwritten minutes dating back to 1920, but I've read the meeting minutes of the board right before July 27th, and then right after. So when it was Calaveras Water Users Association, and then when they moved to become Union Public Utility District, they were still calling themselves the association because they weren't used to the name change. But so that's one thing we've talked about. We're for sure going to have some sort of celebration, but the other potential discussion, if there's interest, is do we want to do some sort of big water history event, really highlighting what happened at that time. I think this may be a really good opportunity to tell that story, and for all of us to learn what happened back then.
Well, as co-members of CSCA,
Yeah.
it's another area of collaboration. So,
Exactly.
quick question: do either of you know the year that the Angels or Utica formed? Is it about the same time?
Yeah, so Utica was formed in 1996. Just
Yeah. So
young, yeah, but the City of Angels Camp is one of the older cities in the state. I believe they were 18. Oh, I thought it was 18, but
Incorporated. Yeah.
incorporated. Oh, gotcha. Okay, no, I was wrong about that. So there.
Do we know when their water, they don't have to be an incorporated city to have a water service?
Good question.
Yeah.
Not sure. No, we could find out.
So Utica's a JPA, we were involved. How long, from 96 till when? When did we
DCWD pulled out of the JPA in 2004.
But that's what's remarkable about it. Formed in 1996. That means they're 30. So we can have two 80s and a 30. And, it's the story of the whole water district, and not the water district, the water agencies in this corridor. And, during 1946 is when PG&E, there's a lot of, in the clips too, if you look closely, you'll see some clips too, where that's when PG&E acquired the system. So.
Right, that was 46.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it would be really great to tie it all together. Of course, we'll have
agree.
our
Yeah,
birthday
I agree,
celebration.
not just for CWD, but to have a Calaveras water.
Right.
Here the water was born.
Yeah.
Continue your creative thinking. Talk about it at home, see how things are developing.
One of the,
Bring it.
or among your neighbors even.
Yeah.
One of the.
Bring it back to bring it back to this committee, for sure. I mean, if this is where it's planned and vetted, awesome.
Yeah, that's just a suggestion. If you guys think that's a good idea, I think it's something
I
we
think
can maybe
it's a
report on.
fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who doesn't, who doesn't like a good party?
Well, one of the things, so we did, same team here, we put a lot of work into our 75th birthday party. And then I got COVID right before. So I only appeared by video at that party. But one of the really positive pieces of feedback we got from that was including CCWD retirees in that event. And and they really appreciated it, and it just kind of gave us an opportunity to bring a lot of people together. And so I was excited to host it, but definitely something.
Yeah, get out the invitation. That were significant.
Yeah, Larry Diamond was there. It was but even
Yeah.
others that yeah, I think it's just great. A lot of people just felt really. I think they really appreciated having the opportunity. We've had a lot of retirees since then.
Can't wait for.
Anything else you need?
Not for this item.
Talking about this Wednesdays.
Gonna stay up here because I think I have another item.
Yeah, hard to get rid of.
Yeah,
Ready?
we're ready
Okay.
for E.
All right. External affairs report. It's gonna be kind of brief. I did give an external affairs report at the last board meetings. Here's just a few things I want to touch on. I hope you guys all noticed. Not sure if you have, but I'm gonna make sure you notice it now. Is the monitor out there in the lobby? It kind of scrolls through several different updates, to our FAQs, to construction updates. There's a QR code on every one. So as people are out there in the lobby, they can really easily get the information. It's got a link to our board meetings, a link to our committee meetings, a link to customer portal. So it's just on this continuous loop, trying to make it a little easier for folks when they come in to pay the bill or for a meeting to easily access that information. You'll notice it now. Yesterday, March 22nd, was World Water Day. Not sure if you guys noticed it or celebrated it. Hopefully at least drank some water. But yes, yesterday was World Water Day. Seems like this time of year there's I'll show you here in a minute, there's either a water day or there's, just go right on through and show you. Okay, those are later. So next week is going to be kind of at the halfway point of our water year, March 31st. And so I've been sharing these clips from Department of Water Resources throughout the year, usually around the first of the month or the end of the previous month, to kind of give an idea of what we're looking at hydraulic throughout the system. This is just our Region 5 area, which is kind of down by between Bass Lake and Big Trees is what these numbers reflect. CDEC. As far as rain totals, we're looking okay this year for rain. It's really snowpack that is kind of concerning this year. Sorry, it's kind of small there, but I mean we're well below snowpack. I'm still holding out to. I think it might be a little bit late for a Miracle March, but maybe we can push that Miracle March into April and snow. I'm excited about that. Last week was Fix a Leak Week. Ran all week long. The EPA Water Sense program really puts out a lot of good information and videos and different tutorials. That's federal. Yeah, and so it's nice. They really give a lot of tools for us. So I'm able to just share links to all sorts of, they had a really good campaign about like fix your flapper, basically all the tutorials of how to fix your toilet flapper, other leaks that you might see throughout your home, irrigation, and just how-tos. Really good videos too. So I pushed some of that out on social media last week and had it on our website. Useful, and I think it's really helpful. Also, there was the National Groundwater Awareness Week. The same thing. That was the week before, where I was able to put out some different fun facts about groundwater, just to bring attention to it. So that ran for that entire week as well. Okay, super busy slide here. This is kind of a snapshot of what's coming up for the External Affairs Department. As you can kind of see, spring gets kind of busy. There's a lot of different school events, and I didn't quite capture everything on here, but this is just my way of kind of hopefully quickly showing you how often we're getting out there in the community, whether it's a school event or a Firewise event. I'm actually really torn right now. On May 2nd, I've got two conflicting Firewise events. There's one in Poker Flat and there's one on the Evans Pass. So that's going to be difficult to try to be in two places at one time. But those Firewise events, I think, are fantastic. And they've really just turned out to be a really good networking. I've just had really, really good positive feedback from attending those. At the fire, excuse me, at the event we went to on Thursday, the task force meeting, I booked the West Point Firewise event. So that event turned into some more collaboration and, allowed me to get Firewise on the books for West Point in Saturday, April 25th. Some of the ones I'm really looking forward to is this Friday. I'm going to go to Bret Hart High School, and they've got a new water, basically, I forget the exact title of it, but it's going to be just encompassing all water resources in the county and also the component of the industry as well, like getting into the industry for jobs as well. So we're working with Matt Castro, who's teaching that course, and we've kind of gone back and forth. I was originally supposed to speak there. Then we had that huge snowstorm event, and he actually had a tree fall in his house, so it got postponed. So it's going to be on Friday. Really looking forward to it. How they actually got my name was through one of the presentations here. I'm not sure which one. He just referenced that his class watched one of my presentations and was really inspiring and asked me to come to class. So I'm really, really excited about that one.
On the 10th. Like,
Yes.
that'll
Yeah.
be in UPD's office now. Thank you. Okay.
Great.
So there'll be a presentation. CCWD will be,
Yes.
Yes.
and I'm assuming you guys will all be there for part of the 10th. There's a roundtable
Yes.
starting at
Be there for the roundtable.
reception that evening.
Yeah,
I'll be there for the
that's the day
round.
before on the 9th.
Is that?
The 9th. The
The
round
9th,
table's on the 9th.
right.
Yeah.
No, and I just got confirmation, our own Damon Wyckoff will be on a guitar, microphone, singing that evening with his counterpart, and we also have a saxophone that I heard last week at the Tuolumne event that we'll be playing with them.
Yeah, that event just turned out good. We're securing stuff left and
Yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah, that's
We got a
awesome.
place for our meeting, and now we got free live music at the reception on Murphy's the 10th.
I'm planning to be at the round table, and
Awesome.
So yeah, as excited as I am for the Bret Hart, I'll have to admit though, too, those high school students make me a little nervous. I've done a few events there. I did this one where there were several different classes. The first class of the day, they didn't want to be there. They just gave me this death stare. I don't know if it was too early. The second period, fantastic. Third period, really great. Fourth period, right before lunch, same thing. They were over it. So it's a tough crowd, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I think this class is going to be specific to this topic. So
What age are they? Variety of ages? or
I believe this
freshmen?
class is variety. That's my understanding. Yeah. But the class that he's doing this semester is counting for college credits. So it's interesting. Looking forward to it. And another one that I'm really looking forward to is on the 23rd of April. It's going to be the Calaveras Historical Society dinner. And I'll be speaking at the one in Jenny Lind at that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't even, I'm on the historical board,
Yeah. So that's going to be on the 23rd.
and I'm on the speaker committee as well. I know I recommended you. They got a hold of you. I didn't, no one reported back to me that you have a date scheduled.
Yeah, I love it. She responded the other day and just said, yeah, whatever you want to talk about, just let me know. But so I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to try to, the last one I did more on the history of CCWD.
I won't even be in town.
You missed the last
Man,
one.
I know.
Jeez. All right. Well, it's going to be a good one. I just know it. But yeah, April's busy. I got a career fair at Bret Hart as well. Be on the right tracks. Those are every year, and those are fantastic. I know I've reported on those before, so tell you all about these ones that are coming up. Really looking forward to it. We do have a Forest Meadows HOA Town Hall on the books for the 30th of May. That's a Saturday.
You have a booth at the Frog Show?
I have question marks there. We've done the booth before. I'm not sure yet. It was a little difficult in the past when we were in the location that we were in, they required you to be there till 10 o'clock at night. Very, very strict on the requirements, which was fine. But I really noticed that once the evening came, there was really nobody coming around.
To keep it open?
You do have to keep it open. And somebody has to be there. I can't just, set up a booth and set up something and go leave and have fun or anything, which is not that I want to go have fun there. But I think staying there till 10 o'clock was difficult. So I might look into other areas of the fair where I can set up a booth but not be committed to that whole time. just really maybe be there for the crucial times where you have those beneficial conversations, which I noticed were during the day. During the evening, it's a whole different crowd.
They're not looking for water. at that
Yeah, I mean, they need water. They do.
point. They need
They
to hydrate.
probably need to hydrate, yeah. Which maybe we can have water at the booth, I don't know.
There we go.
Coors Light, something like
Yeah.
water.
Yes, yes, yes. So I haven't committed to the frog jump. We couldn't do the frog jump last year because it conflicted with Aqua, but every year prior, we've done the frog jump. And we've usually done it with UPUD, City of Angels, and Utica. We've all shared a
Plus, I was
booth.
gonna say, if you did it with other water districts, hear that?
Yeah.
10 p.m. dilemma.
We can look into that. Like I said, I'm gonna look into it, but I noticed they have some outdoor areas where they weren't committed. They didn't have to stay there the whole time.
I know that's where Utica used to do it. They had the little flume
Yeah,
set up out, and they would do the outside. I think our stuff there, I don't know, but yeah, it's been a collaboration with other agencies in the past. But even with that, finding folks to staff it, when does it open in the morning?
what time's it open?
You know,
Yeah, it's like 10 or 11 till long day.
yeah,
If you
so like a
reached out to
12-hour day.
I'm sorry,
It's like a 12-hour day to staff it.
but if you reached out to like
there when people are usually busy.
Valley Springs, Oak Hill Sanitary, or
No, in the past it's been us and the Utica agencies.
well, no, I'm saying do it something different. Add some partner.
Yeah.
But there's instead of four water districts, 4 different agencies, 6 or 8.
Yeah, well, one thing I noticed.
Calaveras Water.
Yeah. Remember the year before, I noticed Senator Alvaro Gil had a setup outside, and it was just a real basic setup, but just, allowed her to have those conversations. And then in the evening, they just put the pop-up down. But, I don't know if we need to have the extravagant booth. I thought most of the value was just in the conversations that you had with people. So I'm thinking if we do it, it might be beneficial to have a smaller footprint and real basic and just have that one-on-one conversation with folks. I thought that's where I felt the benefit really was.
And a fire hydrant.
I always bring my fire hydrant. Yeah. Yeah. It always brings in conversation. It's that and the toilet too. I don't know why, but yeah. Yeah. So if you guys have any other ideas, you guys better get them on the calendar because it's booking up quick. The California Wildfire and Forest Resilience Task Force. That's every time I say it, it's a mouthful. It's quite a lot there, but that was a really, really fantastic event.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it.
How many people were there? There was another almost 490 people on Zoom watching.
Yeah, I heard
And
somebody said,
in addition to how this is the most people they've ever got, most they've ever got online, most sponsors.
I think they said 500 people were there in person. Is that
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
over 500. I think it was 520.
Yeah. Yeah. It was remarkable. It was a great event. It was really well done, very informative. I really enjoyed it.
And we
You
should give Mountain Counties the credit for that. So if it's the best one you've had, this is the first time they co-sponsored, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was getting to.
Not just sponsored, co-host.
Yeah.
We need to pat ourselves on the back for that. But the other thing that Wade Crowfoot, he stayed there all day. He was on that panel in front of that room for the entire day, and he controlled the speaking, the microphone basically, and would not allow the two hosts to say anything about putting it together or their organization, which was kind of at Justin list for a good part of the day. Then he asked a tough question of this a guy from UMRA, from East Bay Mud?
Richard
Sykes.
Sykes. Yeah.
Richard Sykes, yeah. Then he asked Richard Sykes a real tough question. Describing what UMRA does, water districts that put together this project that forest restoration. Wade's question to him as a follow-up when they all get done their song and dance. He had follow-up questions for each of them. Yeah, he asked it in the orders. Why can't we get 4 water districts? Just wasn't fair. It wasn't on Richard to try and answer what everyone else is doing. Fantastic. What they're doing.
But he answered it so well, though.
He did.
He really nailed it. Said, these water districts on their day-to-day operations, just keeping track of capital improvement programs and the day-to-day, it's hard for them to also manage the forest. The way he obviously was more eloquent the way he answered it, but
Yeah, but he put him on his heels. I mean, on defense, where he could have said more great things about what Ummer is doing. How great an opportunity it is, and program, whatever. Said by other water districts and watershed.
Well, knowing Richard, I'm sure he knocked it out of the park with his response.
He did.
Although would have been nice if he just said, "Well, these agencies in particular are just exceptional." That's the reason.
I know I was hoping, I kept on waiting for him to say that, but
Right.
yeah. But yeah, there were several takeaways, and if you have any others that you want to chime in on, but one for me too was when Jacqueline Buchanan, the regional forester for the USDA, I think she's for Region 6, and I think it was California, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska is her region. Something that was
Right.
huge, but she publicly commented to Richard Sykes and what UMRA was doing, and when she gave her brief to the California undersecretary, she actually used the MAC project as an example how these large scale projects should be.
Wow.
Yeah, she said that right in that meeting, and I wrote it down because that was amazing that MAC project that UMRA's spearheading is used as an example of what these projects, how they should be facilitated and done. I thought that was pretty remarkable. And then I hope you noticed, did you notice the picture that kept on being displayed every
Oh.
5 minutes?
No way.
That was the resting picture of the presentation throughout the day. And so that is one of my favorite places in the world. It's Hiram Peak. And so the water you see there on the right, that is pretty much the tippy top of the Stanislaus watershed. Of course, the other top, say, is Mosquito Lake. But to the left, you can't see it, but the other body of water just to the left of that photo is going to be the top of the McCall
Lake.
No, that's Highland Lake.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the top of Highland Creek. That little body of water. Amazing place. But when I first walked into this huge room with 500 people there, I see our beautiful watershed on display. Out of all the places in California and out of all the wonderful
good. I didn't know.
places.
Is that your picture? They must have got that from you.
I don't think so. I mean, that's right by the campground. I've got
I know.
dozens of-
I recognized it immediately. Yeah.
It's so funny. Whenever you go there, I feel like I take the same picture and over again, like it's the first time. I mean, I'll go there this summer and I'll probably have that same picture. And then I look back, it's like the same place. I don't know if I don't do it on purpose, but it's just amazing spots. But it was an honor to see, I think, our watershed on display at this wonderful task force.
I bet at one point in time you sent that picture to Justin. Justin, it is the backdrop here.
Maybe. But
How else would they get a picture of Highland Lake?
Beautiful place. If you haven't been there, I really, really
Is
recommend
the
it.
internet a concern?
Yeah,
I doubt
True.
it.
but that's pretty remote.
Yeah. Wonderful spot. That was an honor. And then, of course, you have images like this that they displayed throughout the presentation, and it's really hard to ignore or just not really grasp what's happening over the years. This was an older shot that only goes to 2021. The one that they displayed, this one, unfortunately, I couldn't find the actual version. So this is actually my phone. That's why it's kind of skewed a little bit there, but this is actually something I snapped with my phone. And this goes through 2025. But one thing that stuck out with me when this was on display was when Patrick Wright, the director for the task force, mentioned that the 2021 Dixie Fire alone burned more acres than the entire 19 acres.
Right.
Region.
And he also said one of the stat that he gave before that was that in something like in the 2000s, all the fires in the 2000s destroyed more acres or involved more acres than every fire in California before. It was one of those years, 20 or 21, that the volume had gotten to be so great that it was more than every fire year before it all added up.
Yeah. No, there was just felt like incredible stats. I was feverishly writing as many as I could, and that one stuck out with me with the Dixie Fire. And just saying, the entire decade of the 80s, you have one fire now that can.
Decade.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah. I wish I would have known I was going to use this. I would have tried to frame it a little bit straighter. It's kind of bugging me that cut off, but it'll do. Last week, the communications committee for Aqua, for the next 2 years, I'll be on the communications committee. I'm really excited about it. I'll be doing that and also the outreach task force captain again. I'm really looking forward to the communication committee. I've never been on it. I've attended all the meetings at Aqua, but I've never been part of the committee. So, this first meeting really actually gave me a good charge. I don't know, when I felt really good coming out of it, got all inspired, and like I normally do when I go to these Aqua events, I just feel inspired to do great things. So hopefully, continue. In case you guys didn't know, Aqua was formed in 1910 by 5 irrigation districts: Alta, Oakdale, Modesto, South San Joaquin, and Turlock. Aqua is the largest statewide coalition of public water agencies in the country, collectively responsible for 90% of the water delivered to cities, farms, and businesses throughout California. And there's nearly 470 public agency members. Aqua is divided into 10 regions, as you can see here. We are part of Region 3, which certainly encompasses some of the best parts of the state, if you ask me. Region 3 is also really well represented in Calaveras County right now. There's several of us that are part of that region, part of the board, all the different committees, and we're really represented quite well on that region. I think that's amazing.
And at our meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the aspects I'm really looking forward to is just really bringing our voice to all of California. I think so many of the agencies within that footprint of Region 3 we have so many similarities, not just the headwaters, but just our small rural communities, and just, our story, our voice, and just bring that to the forefront. I think that's really good, amazing platform for that.
I'm curious, you wouldn't have Region 3, California natural water, what percentage comes from farming for all the agriculture, drinking purpose? I know we have outside state water coming.
We have that map. I don't have it on here, but I've got all the different watersheds. Yeah, I do. So I did.
Region
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have
I
this
can tell
really.
you for Mountain County, which is a section of that map, that bottom tail or the top tail, was 12 counties in between. Put together the
Yeah.
60% of the state's water, drinking
So-
water, comes from those 12 counties.
In my GIS folder, actually Mountain Counties and Aqua shares the same folder. So all I have to do is turn a few different layers off in a few different counties because the footprint's very similar. But what I've done is I've overlaid the watersheds that originate in California. Of course, there's watersheds that from outside of California that feed California, but the ones that originate in California, I have a map that goes over it. And another thing I've been playing with lately, which I'm still fine tuning, is every single hydroelectric facility that receives water from that footprint as well. And it's pretty neat when you see it like that. Because I think there's a lot more we can do with just, we talk about the headwaters, we talk about forest health, and I think we do talk about energy, but I think we can tie that together a little bit better. Or health of our headwaters is not just for ag and for homes and our businesses, but it also generates wonderful power source for the state of California, which is always in need of power. So
Good discussion that led me to Sacramento.
yeah, and the way I'm trying to do it too is just basically when I switch that layer on, when you just see all those, you don't need to count them all. You can tell that a lot going on. Busier than my spring calendar. A lot of stuff come right at you.
But to Kelly's point about representation, I think it's great that, the Aqua has, I think it's a 37-member board or 35-member board. 4 of them are from Region 3, 2 from Calaveras County, Jessica. And to have, just, we always, as the Region 3 board has always tried to prioritize that. Let's get Region 3 people on not just the Aqua board, but the policy committees and leadership roles wherever we can.
Yes, so there's several subcommittees on the communication committee. Most of them are the same, except for the weather whiplash has kind of been renamed. I think that was the one before where it's water conservation. They kind of rebranded it or renamed it. Now it's the weather whiplash. And another new one is the AI policy task force. I signed up for 3 of the subcommittees. I signed up for the awards and scholarships, weather whiplash, and the website and social media subcommittees. Really looking forward to that. Already got some homework to do on the scholarships, just reading through some of those, and so looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the weather whiplash one, just because it's a new subcommittee. So I think that's an opportunity to create something new.
Just real quick, Kelly, if I could skip back to the water management. Mention that here. Is it on here?
Well, these are just the subcommittees specific to the communication.
There's a task force that it has formed a subset of the board and the region boards that is looking at ways for Aqua to take positions on what might be controversial statewide policy issues that aren't necessarily legislative proposals for each year, because that's normally what Aqua would focus on. And so it might be a major infrastructure project like sites, things like that, where Aqua isn't, as an organization, doesn't have a broader policy or advocacy position on unless legislation comes up. So it's a little bit of a different advocacy role for Aqua, but it looks like that's figure out. Makes sense. There's just a lot of questions, the details of how it decides which issues to address and how to take a position.
I know it's really nice outside. I'm sure people are doing yard work, but I'm ending it with a snowstorm. So I still have hope. Like I said earlier, need more snow for multiple reasons. So I'm fine with that. Makes it a lot easier to shovel at my house because it's a lot lighter. Yeah, so that's my report. Thank you very much.
Probably first.
I always want more snow. Bring it on. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Awesome.
We have comment. General manager's comment.
No further comments.
Spend a minute on this next one. Future, that lets you and I talk. Very open about what we want agenda items for this committee. We could take this offline too and give some direction. Thought about it. We should think about that in light of my report earlier. What this forum for? Do we want to focus one of our upcoming meetings on just customer? Out and customer. You're asking. Put together that talks about that. Develop that further, or talk about town halls, publication, press releases. Put together next meeting with other districts and how we can help them, how they can help us. Facilities.
I'd certainly like to hear thoughts on how we strengthen committee in any particular area they want. Again, just looking at Scott's history during the presentations today by Jessica, Kyle, Dana, thinking a little more broadly. I do personally, I really do want to see us. There was so much angst around the rate like to see WD led by Kelly to come up with a little 10-minute video that looks at have X number of miles pipeline. Some of this was laid 4 years ago. The acidic soil has rotted away this. All our work is done with 75% grants, almost entirely. Here's how we compare to other districts with our prices. We can really understand why we charge what we do, and that in fact it's for other mountain communities. Anyway, to answer your question, brainstorm and send that back to not sure this is right. If anyone's got any ideas, I'd love to hear it. At all.
What are you looking at, Michael, as far as time of our next committee? Are we looking at every other month?
Thought we had talked about quarterly, but it's up to you
Quarterly?
guys, however frequently you want to do it.
Our first- Okay, that'd be 4 times.
Yeah, I'm fine with quarterly. I mean, April is crazy busy, and then don't really have any time until after the aqua conference.
Thought Kelly's April and May.
Yeah,
After,
next quarter. Look at the calendar. Mondays are good. There's June 8th. We were looking at the second or third Monday. What, Michael, did you have?
Yeah, June 8th works. That's the week of a board meeting. So June 10th would be our regular scheduled board meeting, but
having it in like this week is the same situation. It's not too much for you. Becca, put together 2 meeting packages.
The week before.
A lot. So the week,
Preferably,
so then June 15th.
well, so every other week we will have committee meetings, but that's okay. I think. So the previous week would be legal affairs, regular scheduled meeting, second. So we could do it first, and following up on my calendar, but the 16th should be finance committee.
Like a look at your calendar.
That, which is different. It's a different person preparing that in the packet. So maybe that's a good way to spread it out.
Go to the 15th.
Yeah.
Good.
For me,
Don't anybody write down external affairs. Make sure you write down external relations. $1:00.
unless there's anything else, hereby call for adjournment of this committee. Thank you all.
Thank you.